Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great day today. In this video, we're checking out the Schecter PT Special. Now, one of the things I absolutely love about Schecter is they always find ways to add extra value to their instruments over their competitors, and usually coming in at or below the competitor's price for something similar. Such is the case with this PT Special. So let's get into it and look a little closer. So we'll kick things off by looking at the specs and really examining the guitar in great detail. Then we'll do some tones, we'll do some soloing, and we'll wrap it up. I'll put the times to each one of the sections in the video description below. Feel free just to jump to whichever section you want to see immediately. Other than that, let's kick things off with the specs. All right, you guys, you know how I roll. We're going to go through this guitar with a fine-tooth comb and see what Schecter's take on a T-style guitar is really like. All right, so let's start up on the headstock. I'll take some close-up shots so you can really see what this guitar is like. As for the tuning machines, let's start there. These are non-staggered in height, so we do have a string tree on first and second string. They are Grover Deluxe vintage style tuning machines. I think they look really great, and so far they've been holding tune really well. Now, as for the nut, we've got a Tusk nut here. This is the Tusk XL. And for a guitar in this price range, it's cut very, very nice. So, it's smooth when you run your fingers, over top of it. So if you play your chords or if you're sliding down, sliding up, it feels very nice. So for a guitar in this price range, really impressed with the nut. Now the neck itself sort of looks like it should be roasted maple, but according to the specs, it's just, tinted or whatever. So it is a maple neck. Very stable, and as you would expect on a T-style guitar, no tilt back on the headstock. So it's going to be a very, very strong and durable design. Two-way truss rod, pretty standard nowadays. Fretwork, very, very nice on this guitar. One of the nicest ones that I've felt in this price range. Now, when you look at the frets up here, I'll take a close-up shot here. This is where manufacturers get lazy. As you come up, from maybe the 15th or 17th fret on, they're kind of like, people don't play up there too much. Look at the fretwork on this Schecter. It's beautiful all the way up, as every instrument should be. And I think this one retails for somewhere around $599, somewhere probably between $500 and $600. So to have this kind of fretwork, and as you can see probably from the camera work, they're all shined up, they're all buffed. So, when you're bending and sliding, it's super smooth. So, A+, thumbs up for the fretwork on this guitar. The body itself is ash, which is really nice, and it's got a very, very thin finish on it. So I'll try to take another shot here where you can really see the open grain. Really, really nice. Binding all the way over, and on the website, it's listed as a flat top, but when you look here, you can see it's actually got like the forearm contour. So it's a very comfortable guitar. Now, on the back side, we've got more contours, which is, as a player, really, really appreciated. So here, maybe I'll take another shot so you can really see the angles of the contours. But on the heel joint, just a kind of a slight contour here, just enough so that the edge of the block doesn't dig in, but not particularly, it's not like a big rounded off one, but it is nice. The recessed, neck adjustment screws is nice as well. Big contour here, so when you reach up to the top frets, you don't get impeded. So very nice. Recessed string ferrules. So on some models, when you run your hand over, they're actually above the body. They did a great job. No tooling marks anywhere. Super, super clean. Now, as for the pickups, we've got a couple of Schecter Diamond Series pickups. Obviously, we'll take a listen to those in a second. The bridge is ashtray, very nice, very vintage looking, but in typical Schecter style, we get very, very nice hardware. So brass saddles that are compensated, which means we're going to be able to intonate this guitar perfectly, which means it's going to be in tune down low and up high. So that's a nice feature you won't find in most guitars in this price range. And in terms of the controls, we've kind of got flipped Tele controls. So instead of the selector at the front here, it's at the back side. We're going to open this up and take a look inside in a second as well, just see how clean the cavity is and all that stuff. I like to do that. We've got a volume and a tone. And again, in typical Schecter style, if you pop out the tone control, it puts this guitar into series. Instead of being wired in parallel, which is, very typical, you get the option to go series, which is, sort of a more humbucker type sound. So instead of the pickups going, from the pickup to the controls to the output jack and to an amp, they go from one into the other. So it usually thickens the tone. So it'll be fun to check that out. All right, so let's pop off the control plate, see what it's like underneath. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look inside. All right, let's pop this open and see what we got. All right, very, very clean, really nice. So yes, obviously we've got our push-pull pot here. Let's take a closer look. This looks like it just says made in Korea on the pots, which the whole guitar is made in South Korea. So that's very nice. Yeah, there you go. So everything looks nice and clean. Pretty basic. Wiring's really nice, as you would expect. Nothing weird. Cavity is shielded just with paint, similar to what you would find, on a Fender. All right, so far there's no areas of concern on the PT Special. Everything looks really nice. The neck joint, super tight. There's no gaps anywhere. Binding looks really, really nice, especially, here where it kind of swoops down, can be a little tricky. Looks really, really nice on this guitar. So, they did it up well. So what we're gonna do now is transition into some tones. We're gonna check out the P90, the T-Style bridge pickup, and of course, putting it into series and parallel. So let's transition into doing some tones. All right, so let's check out some of the main tones of the PT Special. As per usual, we're plugged into my Blue Angel amp, mic'd up with the SR25 from Earthworks and the Rode NT1. Today we're plugged into the JHS Morning Glory just to give a little hair to the sound, just a slight breakup. Really nice sustain, just rings and rings, which is a great sign for an instrument. What I really want to know is, it's a T-Style guitar. Does it twang like a Tele? Well, let's find out. Get some volume going. So yeah, great Tele tones, and then as you bring your pick to the back, as much twang as you want. So really great Tele sound, which is awesome. Now, this P90 I find quite warm, so without adjusting my tone at all, if I just soften up my picking. Really, really nice full tone. All right, so while we still have our light breakup tone going on, let's check out this series to parallel switch. Like I said, Schecter finds ways to add value to guitars. This is one of them. So when I pull out on the tone pot, we're gonna go into series, which is one pickup wired to the next and then out, versus parallel, which is just, the bridge pickup out. So let's see what kind of tonal difference that makes. So we'll start on the bridge, as I said. So that is a crazy difference. Suddenly you have like a thick humbucker type tone versus the bright and biting bridge pickup. In the middle pickup, let's check that out. So more of just like a slight thickening, big difference on the bridge pickup. Let's try the neck here. So not as much difference between like the P90 by itself, and then a series parallel. But on the bridge in the middle, it's a massive difference. All right, so now let's try the PT Special with a little gain. Here we go. So I've got to say I'm really impressed with the sustain on this guitar. Both played clean and with a little overdrive. This thing just sustains super well. So let's try that neck pickup. Let's see if it's still in tune after that behind the nut bend that usually puts guitars out. A little bit, but not terrible. So this thing does tend to hold tune really well. And you know, if I spent, you know, a few more weeks playing it and breaking it in, I think it would be rock solid. So here are my final thoughts on the Schecter PT Special. Really cool guitar. I've got to say, tone-wise, super versatile. I found the P90 pickup really warm, and the Tele bridge pickup sounded just like a Tele should. So much twang and attack. It sounded great. And of course, with the addition of, you know, switching to series, you could warm up that bridge pickup like insane. So lots of tones. Yeah, so if you want bite, you got bite. If you want like sort of a full jazz tone, yeah, really surprised again how warm that is. Now this is a swamp ash body, and I love the exposed grain. I think it gives it a really cool look, something you know, slightly different than, you know, guitars in this price range, which are usually, you know, kind of slathered in poly or whatever. So a nice change from that in terms of the finish. Now in terms of playability, this Schecter hits all the right notes. So comfortable to play. You've got this little contour right here that kind of swoops down onto the lower horn. Slight cutaway here, slight cutaway there. Really big belly cut here, very comfortable. And as I showed you guys before as well, we've got a little forearm contour here. So, you know, for a T-style guitar, this thing is super comfortable. So from my perspective, this is definitely a guitar to check out, especially if you're a fan of T-style guitars, but always felt like the neck pickups were a little uninspiring. This P90 sounds really good. It's very warm, and so, you know, just flicking your three-way switch here, you can go from bright and twangy and like tons of attack, all the attack you could want, to like, sort of warm and jazzy just with that three-way switch. So I thought that was really nice. Now in terms of value, this is an area that Schecter has always excelled in. You take this guitar and maybe a Fender Player Series Telecaster, which is, in a similar price range, and the feature set on the Schecter, blows it out of the water. There's so many more tones and options, playability wise as well. So, value, you can't go wrong with the Schecter. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this demo. If you did, be sure to subscribe to the channel. We got lots of great content lined up for you guys. And other than that, I'll link to this guitar in the video description below for people who want line by line specs. If you want to know, neck profile and all that kind of stuff, you can check it out by clicking the link in the video description below. Other than that, have yourself an amazing week. We'll see you next week with a new video.